You ever just wake up and realize that half of your growth plan is built on customer acquisition and none of it is built on actually helping you keep those customers after they sign? I've seen SaaS founders dump $100,000 into more outbound tools and leave retention running on hope and Gmail. If you're spending 80% of your budget on customer acquisition and 0% of your budget on retention, this video is going to feel like a huge slap in the face. And I'm not sorry. Because the truth is, most SaaS founders are absolutely obsessed with leads, but they ignore the silent killer of their LTV. Today we're going to talk about retention. Not just keeping users around, but using AI to build intelligent systems that anticipate churn, deepen usage, and scale revenue automatically. Here's the truth. If you can't keep your customers, then you're just renting growth. And rent in the SaaS market today is getting incredibly expensive. My name is Morgan Von Druitt. I am a founder of Dipity Digital. Over the past decade, I've helped AI startups scale from seed to Series A and have built marketing systems that have contributed to over $1.3 billion in revenue. In this video, we're fixing your retention engine with AI as the multiplier. Let's go. Retention is where the money lives. SaaS doesn't grow by closing deals. It grows by keeping customers and expanding their value exponentially. Not only is it cheaper, but it has a higher margin and it compounds. Elena Verna, ex-growth at Miro and SurveyMonkey, once said, "Retention is the only metric that compounds. Everything else is rented." And frankly, she's right. According to Bain & Company, if you increase retention by just 5%, you can see upwards of a 25% increase in profits. And that's just because it's freaking expensive to buy new customers. It is much more economically viable to retain those users and then grow their lifetime value. Here's the kicker. Most SaaS teams still treat retention like it's an afterthought, which has always been wild to me as an enterprise PMM who witnessed many of my CTOs absolutely ignore a mountain of support tickets telling us exactly what to build when they were trying to plan their product roadmaps. Today, we're trying to change all of that by giving you a retention strategy that is built for velocity, powered by AI, and proven in the field. It is your responsibility to diagnose churn like a scientist. You can't improve what you don't understand, and you can't understand what you don't measure. Accountability is key here. There is no use in avoiding measuring your data, so that way you have another excuse or another reason to say, hey, this is why that campaign didn't work, it must be somebody else's fault. It's okay to own it and learn from it if it's not going very well. You'll never improve unless you measure this data. Most churn doesn't happen in a single moment. It is a slow fade. A customer logs in less, they stop opening up your emails, they ghost the support team, and then they vanish altogether. So here's the play. Use tools like Mixpanel, Amplitude, and Full Story to track product usage drop-offs. Pair that with tools like Churn Zero or Custify to set alerts when accounts go quiet. One of our AI clients was losing about 18% of their users in the first 30 days post-trial. So we set up Full Story to watch those behaviors. And guess what we saw? The onboarding modal was closing way too fast. Users skipped setup. So what did we do? We built an onboarding that used product tours with tools like Pendo or app queues that manually walked every single user through a step-by-step process with a progress bar showing them where they were in their onboarding journey. This sort of gamified the process. We also gave them a nice certificate once they finally completed 100% of that tutorial. What we ended up seeing was that churn dropped by 37% in the 60 days following that implementation. This was a key learning here. Not only did support tickets drop, we experienced less churn, but we were also able to validate when a support ticket did come in by looking at their account. Oh, this user only went through 37% of the tutorial. No wonder they're lost. Whereas if a user had gone through 100% of the tutorial, to be hyperbolic, we would be like, okay, yeah, maybe like this is a validated user. this is actually a real pain point. We should go ahead and try and solve this. Also, if multiple customers were getting tripped up at that same 37, percentage done ticker on the same screen, on the same, tooltip, then we would understand that we needed to go ahead and add something to our roadmap to fix that before it turned into a larger friction point or a point of easy bounce. To quote Patrick Campbell of Profitwell, the seeds of churn are planted in onboarding. And that's true whether you're a SaaS company, an AI company, or a marketing agency. Your onboarding experience is going to set the tone for the rest of your relationship with that client. If your data doesn't tell you why they leave, your retention strategy is just going to keep you guessing harder. And that doesn't serve anybody. It's important to make retention a product, not a KPI. Retention is a feature in your ecosystem. It is a reason why they stay. Retention isn't a metric, it's a product experience. I want you to think about it like this. What is one core habit that your product builds? Because without a repeatable habit, you don't have retention. You have a subscription with a grace period. AI can help you identify what retention triggers you have. These are patterns of behavior that successful users do within their first 7 to 14 days. It could be something like uploading some data, or maybe they have to invite 2 to 3 teammates to feel like they have a community. It could be that successful users integrate your product with Slack. But once you identify that, you need to design every customer onboarding experience to hit those touch points. A real example here is that Slack found that users who sent 2,000 messages within the first 30 days almost never churned. So they redesigned their onboarding, their emails, and their tooltips around one goal: to get users to send more messages. A similar thing happened at Dipity, where we helped a SaaS client reframe their product activation goal from account created to workflows saved. AI had flagged that users that saved up to 2 workflows had a 3x times retention rate, so we built automation to ensure that every user hit that moment fast. Retention jumped by 29% in 1 quarter. To quote Brian Balfour, CEO of Reforge, what is one metric that predicts long-term retention? Find that and then build everything else around it. It is important to remain human in these engagements. You can automate everything, but maintain that human element. AI lets you scale intimacy without scaling your team. We're talking using chatbots, behavior-based emails, smart nudges, predictive churn scores. But here's the key: you can't just go sounding like a bot. You have to sound and act human. You have to think like a friend. You have to approach them like a colleague, like a teammate, like a partner in this collective work that you're doing together. Yes, you're trying to sell them a product, but you also have to be invested in the work that they're doing and show that you care about helping them reach their KPIs or whatever their company mission is. Some tools that we use are things like Intercom for AI-driven onboarding, Ordo for behavior-based sequences, and MadKudu for predictive customer health scoring. One time we set up a post-onboarding sequence that dynamically adjusted based on product usage. The way that this looked was if a user didn't log in for 3 days, they got a friendly need help email. If they saved their first template, then they got a congrats, you're crushing it nudge with a power tip on how expert users are creating better templates. The result here was that activation rates jumped about 22%, churn dropped by double digits, which was a huge win for everyone, and it was a very simple implementation. Small things can go a long way here. So say this out loud with me. AI is not replacing your CS team. It is the intern who never sleeps and never forgets to follow up. Never forget to expand value through smart upsells. Retention is great, but expansion is really where SaaS gets profitable. Land and expand is the game here. But if you pitch too soon or too hard or with the wrong information, you can kill trust instantly and you'll never have the opportunity. AI lets you time your expansion offers based on behavior and readiness. A real-world example here is that reps at HubSpot only pitch CMS upgrades after users published more than 3 blogs. Why? Because data showed that that's when they were ready to hear about more information. They had gotten their feet wet with the product, and now we're looking for additional features. To dip into our playbook here, We helped a SaaS LLM platform trigger upsell nudges only after a user ran 5 successful fine-tunes. The upsell was, hey, do you want to auto-deploy this into production? This was a higher tier feature. The conversion rate was 34%. Why? Because it wasn't really a pitch. It was a next logical step. Why would they want to do this manually when it could auto-deploy? We allowed them to learn how to do it manually, feel the pain of doing it manually, and then gave them an upsell option that allowed all of that work to get automated so they could directly understand how much time they were going to save by upgrading. Expansion should always feel like unlocking a superpower, not a sales pitch. You don't have to be a psychic to predict when churn is going to happen. And this is the moment in AI that everybody talks about, but few implement well. Predictive churn scoring isn't magic, it's just simply pattern recognition. You feed the model with feature usage, support tickets, login frequency, billing behaviors, and it spits out, hey, here are the 12 customers that are probably going to be leaving you in the next 60 days. Go talk to them. Then it helps you either go write personalized emails or have a nurture of emails that are going out to them to educate them on features that they might not be using. You can say, wow, these users all haven't taken advantage of this one feature that is pivotal to success on our platform. Maybe we should actually get a support team member to go ahead and talk them through that. You can use tools like Churn Predict, Vitality, and your own in-house models to do this at a relatively low lift. There are open source models that are out there. You just have to host them yourself on your own server. But for the tech savvy folk, you guys are SaaS companies, I'm sure somebody can do that for you. You shouldn't really be surprised by churn. It is a feature of most businesses. It's going to happen, but you can definitely predict it and you can definitely prevent it in most cases. AI makes all of that possible to do at scale, so you're not playing a guessing game trying to catch vibes on a customer success call to see whether or not somebody is going to leave. Always close the loop with feedback-driven retention strategies. Once you fix the links, now build the moat. And what can that moat possibly be? It's called feedback loops. Smart SaaS companies don't just fix churn, they learn from it. They turn those possibilities into playbooks. By using tools like Typeform plus Zapier, you can automate exit surveys. You can use Gong or Chorus to transcribe churn calls. You can use tools like ChatGPT or Claude to summarize themes and dig deeper. Then ship them out. What are we fixing email quarterly? Tell your customers how their feedback is directly changing the product and has helped you reevaluate what is on the feature roadmap, what is going to get developed or what is going to get fixed. They want to feel like they're actually a part of the journey with you and that their dollars are a vote towards what needs to get done onto the platform. Customers don't leave because you have problems. They leave because you don't fix them. They expect you to have a bug every now and then. They expect you to have a feature that might be missing or not have feature parity from a competitor that has been around for much longer than you. Most of us are startups. You're not supposed to have a perfect product from ground one. That is okay. Your customers are buying into your trust. They're buying into your story. They're buying into the belief that you give a shit about them and that this is a good place to spend their money. Yes, of course, they want a functional product by all means, and we trust that you're going to build that. But when you're looking at a small-time employee engagement company going up against a Qualtrics, then yeah, they're not going to have feature parity with a Qualtrics or a Medallia of the world. That's okay, but they're with you for the journey until you get there. Show them that you care before they churn. This reminds me of a corporate mergers and acquisitions company that I came on and worked as a direct hire several years ago, and quickly realized that almost every department was in a silo. We had 3 marketing managers who were working under a sales VP who had zero interest in managing a marketing team. He had enough on his plate with sales. And the sales team had very rarely spoken with the development team, mostly because the development team was in another country. The sales team was working and promising customers features off of a roadmap that had already been 5 or 6 revisions old that the development team realistically had no intention of actually following. They were already on to a new version of it and were developing things that were never communicated to the sales team. As a result, customers kept coming on expecting that certain products, certain features were already shipped that weren't even in the works. The first line of code hadn't even been written yet. It was a huge level of miscommunication. So what we did was we sent out an apology email, something simple, something human. Hey guys, we fucked up. We're sorry. Here's an apology email. This is what our roadmap actually looks like. This is why it happened. Here's how we fixed it. And out of all of those clients, we ended up landing 12 of them back because we regained trust. We had a human moment and we were able to show them, okay, the majority of the core features that you actually promised are on their way. They're just going to be here in 3 to 4 months when we can, when we actually planned on getting them. Sorry, they're not actually out right now. It actually helps. We're all human. Retention itself isn't sexy, period. It doesn't get headlines like growth hacks or viral loops or a sales rep, hitting quota in the first month. It isn't glamorous, but it does have compounding interest in the SaaS market. If you want predictable growth and you want higher LTV, you want better margins, you want lower CAC, then you need to build systems that customers want to stay for. AI isn't a silver bullet, it's a scalpel that lets you attack these problems with surgical precision. It lets you identify, engage, and expand the right way at the right time and to the right audience. If you want help building any of these kinds of systems, we do retention strategy, automation, and AI agent deployment for seed through Series A startups. Feel free to check out Dipity Digital or DM me directly. It is the same name on Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me below, what are you losing the most revenue on right now, and what is your plan to stop it? I will try and give you my best advice on how to do that in the comments below. And with that, let's just keep trying to build systems that keep customers happy. Cool. Morgan, out.